already know, man. It's Deion Dawkins, and you listening to the Real Deal Sports Show on the Beat 105.5.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the Real Deal Sports Show every Saturday morning, coming through your speakers from 8 to 9 a.m. every Saturday morning on the Beat 105.5. And we always got a lot of sports to talk about. We're broadcasting live from the Rock Pawnbrokers studio. And don't forget Rock Pawnbrokers. Go check them out on State Street, 559 State Street. We broadcast every week live from the Rock Pawnbrokers studios. We want to dedicate this week's show to a legend. Not only a legend NBA basketball player, college basketball Hall of Famer, NBA legend, and a great businessman, Junior Bridgman. Junior Bridgman, formerly of the Milwaukee Bucks, but an outstanding businessman, made his transition earlier this week while he was given speaking at a luncheon in the Louisville, Kentucky area. Junior Bridgman was an outstanding ball player, but he was an even better businessman that had wealth, had over 450 fast food restaurants, started with Wendy's, had a few Wendy's, got over 100 Wendy's restaurants, then altogether with all his other restaurants, 450 restaurants. Then he moved into bought the Coca-Cola bottling company. When he sold those 450,000 restaurants off back in 2016, 2017, that's when he became a billionaire. His net worth was $1.2 billion. Outstanding businessman. He also bought Ebony and Jet magazine from the Johnson family. And currently his daughter runs the publications on the online only. Currently for Ebony and Jet, you can still get those publications online. Ebony and Jet out of Chicago, Illinois. He purchased that. And 2 years ago, he became minority owner of the Milwaukee Bucks. A minority owner of the Milwaukee Bucks. Junior Bridgman, for sure, has done an outstanding job in the community and made everything great, working in the community and putting businesses back into the African-American community as well, overall community. That Coca-Cola bottling company, he still has rolling. His family he's left by his wife, 2 sons and a daughter. Junior Bridgman, great legendary ball player, but an even better humanitarian, businessman, entrepreneur, and philanthropist. So we dedicate the show to Junior Bridgman this morning as we go on with the Real Deal Sports Show. And we're going to talk now, as we got a lot to talk about. Let's get right to the Buffalo Bills. I know people have been asking me about this all week, what I'm thinking of the free agencies and the free agency pickups by Brandon Beane and Sean McDermott. Well, they look pretty decent. Some of the Bosa, well, let's start with the big name guy, Bosa. Hey, good morning, Aneska Walker. Good morning. Welcome to the show. Internet Passport. Welcome to the show as well. Please like the stream, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment on there so we can get your comments on the air as well. But really, talking about Joey Bosa, a has-been. He was good 10 years ago. The guy can't just stay on the football field. A lot of injuries. A lot of injuries. The man, that's why the Chargers, Harbaugh, he told his guys in the Charger land out there in LA Chargers, hey, if you can't get on the field, you can't play injured, you can't play at all for me. If you can't play normally, or if you're injured, he made the quarterback, Herbert, got out there injured. We saw how Herbert reacted. He didn't play well with his injuries on the football field. So Bosa had to go. The Bills pick him up for 1 year, $12 million. I project him to play 10 regular season games, 10, because this guy he's just too big. He's too thick. He's too muscular. He's more like a bodybuilder type cat. And those guys can't seem to stay on the field because they're always ripping something, or they're tearing something, or they're pulling something. He has a lot of soft tissue injuries. When he comes to St. John Fisher, I would not be surprised to see him on the sideline watching practices because of his injury and having some type of tissue. Hopefully the doctors of the Buffalo Bills in that center, that healthcare center that they have out there at One Bills Drive, they think they can maybe get him some new life out there, and see if he can play. But I doubt it. A guy like this, he has over 100,000 miles on him. If he was a car, probably 150,000 miles after 10 years. Oh, definitely 150,000 miles if he was an automobile. you know things are going to break down on the car, or they've been breaking down on Joey Bosa. If the Bills can get 10 games out of him in the regular season and hopefully get him into playoff games, because that's when you're going to need his pass rushing skills the most, they could do it. But I would have went younger. I don't know what it is. Brandon Beane does the right thing, gets rid of Von Miller. Then he turns around and signs another Von Miller. Joey Bosa is just another Von Miller, another old guy with a lot of injuries, and it's hard for them to stay on the football field and play at the level that they used to play in. So we'll see with Joey Boa move. But then let's get into these other moves. Michael Hawk, I had to look him up, the LA Rams linebacker, defensive tackle, special teams guy that blocked 3 punts last season for the Rams. He was a good special teams guy, very quick. Big man out of Harvard. Went to Harvard, was a walk-on, undrafted free agent, made the team there in LA, made the Rams. Comes to Buffalo. Now we find out yesterday, Brandon Beane calls a press conference. He tells us that Michael Hawk and Larry Ogunjobi both have been suspended by the league, the National Football League, for 6 games for doing PEDs in their system. PEDs, performing enhancing drugs. Performing enhancing drugs. That's what that stands for. They both got 6 games. So let's take a step back. Brandon Beane says in the press conference he knew about Michael Hawk's situation, but he didn't know about Larry Ogunjobi. Sorry, I'm botching your name up, brother, but I'll work on it during the season. I got 6 weeks at least before you even able to play to get your name correct. But how in the world will you sign a guy when you know that the guy is going to be out for 6 games? Michael Hawk, and it's on performing enhancing drugs. This guy had a good year last year. How do you know now that he's off the PEDs when he plays for you next season for the Buffalo Bills that he's going to be able to perform at the high level that he performed last year? But last year, now we know he performed at a high level because he was on PEDs. So I'm scratching my head. I don't get it. I don't understand. I don't get how Brandon Beane would even sign this guy to a 3-year, $21 million contract. That's roughly $7 million a year. $7 million a year. I don't know what the signing bonus is. Why would you give somebody money when you already know they're going to be suspended for 6 games to start? So I don't know what the deal was in the thinking about picking him up. Ogunjobi, he said he didn't know about him. That's a fair situation. If you didn't know, you should have known, or investigators or somebody should have been telling you something about this guy and who could be possibly, because I actually thought when I heard Bosa was signed, I said, oh, wow. I thought he might be a guy for PEDs. That's the first thing crossed my mind with him. I said, wow, he's a big muscular guy. But wow, these 2 guys, here's these 2 guys come up on the list. They're both, I just can't get why Brandon Beane would sign guys knowingly, one guy knowingly, when you could have got out and went and got some other younger guys that looked like that seemed to be okay, passed the drug test and the whole 9 yards. So I don't get that move right there. I do understand the move for Joshua Palmer. You didn't want to pay $4 million. You get Joshua Palmer for $3 million. The $4 million is what Mac Hollins received from the New England Patriots, a 2-year deal worth $8 million, but it could escalate up to $10 million with bonuses. And if he reaches certain goals, he could get $10 million in 2 years out of the New England Patriots, which isn't a bad deal. But on the Buffalo side, Mac Hollins was an excellent blocker downfield. He helped the running game immensely. And he also caught 31 passes, too. The guy, I don't know, I might have paid a little extra money for Mac Hollins just because of what he did, what he accomplished for your football team a year ago. Now you're going younger with Joshua Palmer. Hey, you could get Joshua Palmer can be with the team. You signed him to a 3-year deal. He's obviously a guy that can play in the slot, and we can see what he can do with the Buffalo Bills. It's going to be interesting to see how this guy plays out with the Bills. So Joshua Palmer's on board. You re-sign Ty Johnson, re-sign Reggie Gilliam. Those are good moves there as well. Finally, you trade Kaiir Elam. You make a trade for Kaiir Elam with the Dallas Cowboys with BacSpin's team. So BacSpin get to see Kaiir Elam next season wearing a Cowboys uniform. And I'm sure he gonna maybe play well because you drafted Kaiir Elam, Brandon Beane, and Sean McDermott, knowingly that he didn't play in your system in college. He played a totally different system in college, and he never was able to change and get himself in the right situation to play for your football team because he just was out of sorts. He got in the doghouse with some of the coaches. The defensive backs coach at the time, couldn't get along with that guy. So he was in the doghouse for most of his 4 years with the Buffalo Bills. I don't understand why the Bills wouldn't. Yeah, he was the number one draft pick 4 years ago. Why wouldn't you just trade him a few years ago if you had problems? Now you finally trade him. You get roughly a draft pick, a late 5th round, 7th round draft pick for him with the Dallas Cowboys. Now, next move leaves me scratching my head. Damar Hamlin. They re-signed Damar Hamlin. Okay. Damar Hamlin, we know the story about him. His heart stopped on the football field. He was saved. His life was saved in Cincinnati during that frightful Monday Night Football game that myself, the Mighty Oprah, were in attendance in Cincinnati on that Monday night. Never forget how that night and how eerie feeling it was in that crowd to see that crowd go from a frenzied crowd to this deep silence as they saw the medical team save Damar Hamlin's life that night on the football field in Cincinnati, Ohio. Now, let's go 2 years forward. We see Damar Hamlin last season, 2024 football season, played for the Bills. He started a lot of games. We saw what he could do. And what he was doing, to me, just isn't good enough. He couldn't tackle. He bites a lot. And what I mean by bite is that whatever the first move the quarterback makes, he reacts to it, and he takes himself almost out of position, and the quarterback was able to throw the deep ball over him. And also a guy that bit even more than Damar Hamlin, Taylor Rapp. That's why the ball was able to be thrown over the top. You saw a lot of deep touchdown passes. Bo Nix in the playoff game for Denver had one. The Milton kid, the young quarterback for the New England Patriots, he had one because both of the safeties bit on Milton. They thought Milton was going to run with the ball, and he just threw a laser over the head of both of those guys for a touchdown early in that game again. And then he threw a second one because those guys just bite. They just react to the moves, and they don't stay in their position. So after watching that all season long, why would you sign Damar Hamlin? The people here don't know him as well. He's on the billboards all across town, all over promoting their car dealerships that's selling automobiles here in the Rochester marketplace. You can't miss him. He's on billboards throughout the Rochester. If you're in the Rochester, New York area, listening area, he's on billboards throughout this town promoting this car dealership. So he's a good pitch man. He's doing well there. But on the football field, he just can't get it done. I don't understand it. Well, I was surprised that they signed him to a 1-year extension when he's having trouble covering players, covering defense, wide receivers or players deep downfield. So I was surprised with that re-signing of Damar Hamlin. One other guy I was shocked with that should have been the first cut was Dawson Knox. How the heck? He's another pitch man. I don't know why the Bills love these guys who are on billboards, on TV commercials. Dawson Knox promoting plumbing supply tools. He promoting all kinds of beer. You go to the airport, he got a big poster up with him promoting a beer company here at the airport here in Rochester. He got all kinds of TV commercials. Great pitch man. The guy he can do his thing on these TV commercials, but on the football field, he's not worth no $14 million a year. Why is Brandon Beane paying him one of the top salaries of a tight end in the entire National Football League? The guy is a pitch man. He's not a starting tight end in the National Football League. He should have kept his first contract. You could have just let him play out his rookie contract. But in his third year, you went and signed him to a mega deal when he didn't earn a mega deal. You didn't even have to pay him after the third season. You should have waited to the fourth season, and you saw what he really is. He's just an average tight end. He's not a guy, he can block, his blocking is getting better, but he's not a guy that you pay that kind of money to. So, hey, guys, people, fans, you guys start looking at Brandon Beane a little cross-eyed now on how he's wasting money and paying guys that shouldn't be paid big-time money, especially like a Dawson Knox. You cut Von Miller, which was a good move, but once again, Dawson Knox should have been cut too at the same time that Von Miller was cut. And then you turn around and sign another Von Miller and Joey Bosa. Unbelievable moves here by Brandon Beane. And now he got himself in a cooker now because he's in a nutcracker now because now with the draft, you got to hit on your first 3 picks, your first 3 or 4 picks got to be guys that's going to start and presumably start on that defensive side of the football. They're going to have to start on the defensive side of the ball because you got two guys already out 6 games that you signed. You signed them. Yeah, you're going to get some of that money prorated because they're on suspension, so they're not going to get a paycheck for those 6 weeks. So that works out financially for you. But body-wise and guys playing, you're going to have to hope those guys pan out. Some of the guys from last year, those guys are going to have to come through as well. So you're really going to have to work. And to me, Brandon Beane is putting himself in this situations. I see Ardeska Walker says that she thinks the Bills administrations don't want to deal with the fallout if they cut him because of his heart injury. And it sounds like you talk about DeMar Hamlin. Hey, you gotta release the guy. You release the guy on this play, Erneska. Good comment from you, but you gotta release a guy from his conflict because his playing ability. And his playing ability and DeMar Hamlin's playing ability is just not up to par. If you have any questions, feel free to or want to comment, feel free to call area code 585-595-1055. That's area code 585-595-1055. Give a call in. We'd be glad to answer your questions. And top of the top juice bar said the Bills are just wasting money. Yeah, they are. They're wasting money on guys. And you wonder, there were you saw how many Philadelphia Eagle guys were picked up during the free agency, the early part of free agency. And it makes you wonder, why wouldn't you look at some of the Philly guys, especially a guy like a Josh Sweat, edge rusher? You don't think Josh Sweat could have did something? Darius Slay, does he still have something left? He had a lot left this season. Isaiah Rodgers, another guy, Milton Williams, defensive tackle. Hey, the Bills need a defensive tackle. The New England Patriots have a lot of money, so the New England's overpaying for guys. I understand that. But Milton Williams is an excellent pickup for the New England Patriots. Milton Williams had an excellent season with Jalen Carter and the boys there on that. And you saw what that defensive line did to the Kansas City Chiefs. They were a serious wrecking crew, and they put a beat down on them. C.J. Gardner-Johnson, he's gone to the Houston Texans. Now, he's a hard-hitting safety. Bills are in need of a safety. I might have took a serious look at C.J. Gardner-Johnson. I would have been looking at some Philadelphia Eagles. I wouldn't have been out on the West Coast hanging out looking at the Chargers and the Rams. Hey, you taking players from the Chargers and the Rams. You should be taking players from this team. Or how about Tershawn Wharton, number 98, Tershawn Wharton, number 98, formerly of the Kansas City Chiefs. He was the best player on the field for the Kansas City Chiefs in that brutal Super Bowl beatdown that they took. He stopped Saquon Barkley by himself on several occasions, and they were able to gain. They stopped the running game. The Kansas City Chiefs did stop Saquon Barkley in that game. That was their game plan to stop him. And Tershawn Wharton played a hell of a game. And, of course, he got picked up right away once free agency opened up. I thought the Bills might go after him because he's a big man. He can and the way he brought down Saquon Barkley, you could see that this young man can play. He's huge. He takes up a lot of space. I would have taken a look at him. And then the biggest one I would have been looking at is Justin Reed, the safety. Once they released him, and I would have been talking to his agent saying, hey, if they release him, let's talk about it. He got a 3-year deal from the New Orleans Saints. He's from the New Orleans area. It sounds like he wanted to go back home. So he got picked up by the New Orleans Saints. The Saints picked him up, and he's very thankful to go back home. But if I'm the Buffalo Bills, I would have been going after him, safety Justin Reed, formerly of the Kansas City Chiefs. The teams that are in the Super Bowl and those guys who excel all year and also played well in that Super Bowl, I would not have been ignoring those guys. I would have looked for some of those guys to pick up, not guys from teams, Ogunjobi from the Steelers that give up the run a lot, that give up a lot of run. So I would have been taking a look at him and seeing what we could do. The Bills did pick up Derek Forrest from the Washington Commanders. He's a safety. He's a safety that could help Buffalo out this upcoming season. Now, I so far right now, I say that's a good pickup with Derek Forrest because Bills need some safeties. I still be looking at Justin Simmons and some of these other veteran safeties that are out there. Look for the Bills in the draft to look for a defensive tackle, possibly an edge rusher, a safety, and some cornerbacks. Bills got to pick up cornerbacks. They need some more cornerbacks. Speaking of cornerbacks, Dane Jackson coming back. I guess he didn't like it down in Carolina. It wasn't fine there in Carolina for Dane Jackson last season. He took a nice deal down there, but now Dane Jackson is back with the Buffalo Bills. He's a guy that can help out. He's a guy that knows the system, and so that's a good pickup as well. So it's going to be interesting to see just how many of these guys the Bills pick up and coming up with the here in the season. It's going to be because they're going to have to pick guys up, bring guys in, because defensively they need some help. They got to stop the run. Josh Allen get the big payday. Hey, he's deserving of the payday. I knew once he became MVP, once it was announced, Mighty Oba called me right away and said, hey, Josh Allen just was named MVP. I said, oh, he was? I said, oh, man, okay, congratulations to him. He said, that means a big contract extension for him. Mighty Oba called me right away, said that, and sure enough, he got the contract extension. Josh Allen does it on the football field. Even if you look at the last play that Josh Allen played this season, Kansas City Chiefs came with an all-out blitz. Josh Allen was able to roll out just enough, and he just chucked the ball. He chucked it about 20 yards down the field. But the thing that amazed me about that throw is he threw it into an area where no defender was at. He gave his offensive receiver, once you pick the ball up and see where it's at, an opportunity to make a play. And that's all you can help for from your quarterback in a dire situation like that. All-out blitz. The guys they came with more guys than the Bills could block, and they only gave him a few seconds, and he just rolled out. I don't even know how he even saw where to throw the ball, and he threw it inbounds. He threw a nice spot. He hung the ball up almost like a punt, and for some reason Dawson Knox could. There I go with Dawson Knox. Yeah, guys, I'm not a Dawson Knox fan at all, as you can tell. Dalton Kincaid, he drops the ball. I don't get it. Dalton Kincaid. That's another top draft pick that still hasn't come through for the Bills yet. Usually tight ends take 3 or 4 years normally for them to come through. So I'm gonna cut some slack on Dalton Kincaid. But man, that sure would have looked good on your resume, Dalton, if you would have been able to catch that ball. You slipped a little bit, but you saw the ball, you saw where it was at, and you should have been able to make just to cradle the ball in and make the catch, but he did not. And the game was over. The Bills lost that game. Josh Allen just still hasn't been able to beat Patrick Mahomes. It's just amazing how it's going with Patrick Mahomes still on top. Now Kansas City, they gutted their team. The San Francisco 49ers, they gutted their team because those two teams had been on top since 2019. From 2019 to now, those teams have been in the Super Bowl or in the championship game each year, getting their chance to win. So they had to gut their teams now. Buffalo got a chance now to come up with Kansas City. Kansas City's retooling. Baltimore's retooling as always. Baltimore's going to be tough. New England's going to be tougher. Mike Vrabel going to have that defense ready to play. It's going to be a very physical defense in New England. Watching for the Patriots. The Jets, they're getting it together. They're trying to get it together. We'll see what happens with the Jets as well. But the Bills still got a chance to win the division again. Still got a chance to get there. Keep in mind, the Bills is only one of the few teams that have been to the Super Bowl 5 years in a row and have not played in the Super Bowl. That has never been done before. A team make the playoffs 5 straight years, and not one of those years you make the Super Bowl. So that tells you they should have made the Super Bowl. And we all know what happened with the 13-second game with McDermott. That kind of cost them a lot with the 13-second game. That really was a downfall for the Buffalo Bills in that fashion. They really just didn't have an opportunity. They had opportunities. Josh Allen just got to put it in his hands and find a way to get there. I mean, he almost found a way putting that ball up there, and Dalton Kincaid just couldn't make the play. He walked off, Josh Allen walked off the field with 13 seconds left with the lead. He had just hit Gabe Davis for a touchdown that appeared to be the winning touchdown of the game. But in 13 seconds, Kansas City was able to come down and tie the game up. Kansas City found a way to tie the football game up, which was amazing to me. We still can't believe how they were able to tie the game up. And we are speaking of PEDs and things with these players being on 6-game suspension. let's talk about Tiger Woods briefly. Tiger Woods, a great golfer, one of the greatest golfers of all time. Now he done ruptured his Achilles. It's like his body just gave out. And remember, the guy was coming over from Fort Erie on his way to Maryland to go meet up with Tiger Woods and got caught with a whole bunch of PEDs in the car. It just, hey, you put two and two together. Ever since that situation with the doctor, Tiger Woods being linked to the PEDs, ever since then, his back, his ankle, then he had the car accident. It's just sad to see. It's sad to see Tiger Woods, and we hope our prayers go out to Tiger Woods that hopefully he can heal up and at least be able to live a normal life and be able, because he's done had so many surgeries. I mean, man, he's almost like Evel Knievel now with the surgeries, man. Every time you look up, every year he seems to have a surgery for something. So hopefully he will be able to fully recover and just be able to come out and play golf. Even if he's not playing in a tournament or anything like that, he could at least come out and play golf in a leisurely fashion and enjoy his life, because he did play well. He was one of the greats of all time, maybe the greatest of all time, with those championships he won and majors that he was stringing along. He was almost there, but he paid the price. Almost like a sense of like a Barry Bonds. Barry Bonds did get able to break the records and still be able to keep his body somewhat together. But Tiger Woods' body tends to break down, and it seems like he said he was just working out leisurely and heard a pop, and next thing you know, he was on the floor, and he had ruptured his Achilles. So he had Achilles surgery earlier in the week, and hopefully Tiger Woods will be able to make it back and be able to live a normal life and be able to, if possible, be able to play. Get golf and be able to get back and get his golfing stuff together and be able to get on that golf course and be able to do his thing. So that's what we're hoping for with the great, because he's a great legendary player. So we hope he can make it bounce back and be able to do his thing for sure. And let's get to our sponsors. The award-winning Miriam Rivera Insurance Agency, Auto, Home, Health, and Life Insurance, 1038 Lyle Avenue or 511 Bean Road, Suite B. Give Miriam a call at area code 585 if you're outside the Rochester area, area code 585-360-0094. Miriam Rivera saved me and my family a hell of a lot of money on our auto insurance. And man, speaking of auto insurance, everything's going up, including auto insurance. Auto insurance is going sky high, homeowners as well. So make sure you're working on a deal to get the best deal possible for your auto, home, health, and life insurance through Miriam Rivera Insurance, 1038 Lyle Avenue, 511 Bean Road, Suite B. The award-winning, call 585-360-0094. And how about before we get to our next guest, our first guest of the day, Challenger Community News, Western New York's largest weekly African-American newspaper, thechallengernews.com. Or give a call for advertising, area code 585-766-3590. If you have articles to send the articles or press releases or announcements to editor at The Challenger News. That's NEWS, S as in Sam, news.com. They got a fine sister on the cover of the paper this week called Beautiful Brains, Christian Johnson. Learn about her business. She's a minority woman-owned business. She talked about her success story with Roswell Park and also with other medical companies in the medical fields. Check out Beautiful Brains is the name of her business. Christian Johnson is the young lady, the owner and operator of this business that's doing well in the medical field. She's on the cover of the paper, and also you can turn to page 9 to read the full article. The final chapter of John Walker's Fight for Freedom. Check that out as well, because one of his running buddies passed away earlier in the week. We're sorry to hear about that, the passing there. And Rochester City School District welcomes a new superintendent, Dr. Eric J. Rosser. So check out all that fine articles. My favorite part of the paper, Health Matters. Learn about healthy eating, healthy exercising, the whole 9 lives. Embrace balance and renewal during the spring equinox. So that's in the health section. Check out the health section of the paper. And the Rising Kings, honoring excellence. The Rising Kings of 2025. They're also on the cover of the Challenger. The 17th annual Boutilian Extraordinaire, hosted by the Buffalo chapter of the Jack and Jill of America, celebrates the rise of young black male leaders. Check those young black male leaders out on page 7, and that's in Challenger Community News, the black male leaders of tomorrow, the rising young leaders of tomorrow. Check them out in Challenger Community News. Each week, there's always a lot to read. There's always a lot to read, a lot going on there. There's always a lot going on in Challenger Community News. So check that out. We're going to go to our youth segment in a few minutes. See our young people are starting to come in there. We're going to have them on the show, and we're going to talk a little bit, see what they have to talk about in this week's show. But also, the NCAA tournament. We're going to have a lot of NCAA tournament coverage the next few weeks. College basketball has been rolling big as well. And locally, we have high school basketball. Last night, the World of Inquiry came up with a big win last night. They played very well last night and came up with a big victory over Akron in the Class B sectional. They defeated them last night 58-46. 58-46, the Word of Inquiry won over Akron. That was a Class B. So now they're going to the Final Four in Binghamton next weekend. Kennard's Linder, a guard for the Word of Inquiry, had an outstanding game, played very well last night, and we'll hopefully be hearing from him shortly. We would definitely be hearing from the young man coming up. But that was a big win for them. And also last night, Jamestown had a big win over Rush Henrietta. Rush Henrietta just had no answers for that guard play. Man, they have hell of a guard play, that Jamestown team. Man, they came into the arena, Gates Charlotte High School, and put the beat down. I mean, they put it on Rush Henrietta last night. If you were there to see this, the final score is not indicative of what we saw on the basketball court. The final score, Jamestown won the game 69-64 over Rush Henrietta, but it was mostly a 9 to 11-point lead most of the second half because of the outstanding guard play of Jamestown. And Rush Henrietta just couldn't make the layups. They were missing a lot of layups in that game last night. A lot of layups, a lot of shots inside the paint they could not make in the game last night, and it cost them. I counted 16 missed layups inside where they had actual layups that they just outrightly missed in the game last night, and it obviously cost them the game. Final score, Jamestown 69, Rush Henrietta 64. Avery Council had a hell of a game, played very well. Taggart, all of them, they gave a good effort. I mean, what the key is, Calvin Betts had that team playing, had Rush Henrietta playing hard, but the ball just wasn't falling for them. Like I previously mentioned, they missed an awful lot of layups that I thought would have kept them in the game and would have kept that game really tight, and they might have been winning the game, but they just couldn't get it done in the paint. In the paint was the key for them last night, and they couldn't get it done. So Jamestown moves on. Congratulations on Rush Henrietta for a fine season. We appreciate y'all having a fine season there. And next, we're coming up with our youth segment of the show. And this youth segment is brought to you by Advantage Federal Credit Union at AdvantageFCU.org for auto loans, Visa cards, student checking accounts, and much, much more. Check out the Advantage Federal Credit Union for the items. And I'm going in now. I'm going to welcome Marquand Grimes, welcome him back to the show, and DJ Jackson, newcomer. Welcome, gentlemen. Welcome to Real Deal Sports Show. How y'all doing this morning?
I'm good. Thank you for having us.
I'm doing pretty well. Thank you for having me back, Mr. Randy.
Mr. Randy, yes indeed. All right, Marquand. Well, you're a regular, so we're gonna start with you. What's been going on since the last time you were on the show? You had that football clinic at the school at Edison Tech last summer. What's been going on since then? What's some of the new items that you have going on now?
Well, it's just a lot of recruiting right now going on for college. But I am also getting ready to host my second annual youth football camp to make it bigger and better for the young boys and girls. But like I said, just a lot of accolades, playing in all-star games, getting those recognitions. And, right now just training and getting ready for college. But as far as events. My biggest one coming up is the youth football camp, the second annual one that's going to be during the summer.
Okay. Okay. Great. Do you have an idea when that's going to be?
It'll be July the 13th. That's the date that we aiming for, because we did that last year. So July the 13th or somewhere around that area during the weekend.
Oh, okay. Oh, that sounds good. That sounds really good. To get the people back out there. The young people look like they enjoyed themselves at your clinic a year ago, and that's great. And DJ, let's go to
Yes,
DJ.
sir.
What do you have going on?
So right now I'm heavily in the media. That's the career I want to go into. So I'm heavily into that. Working on some documentaries right now. The most important thing I'm working on right now is probably my Alzheimer's documentary. But not only that, just it's kind of same as Marquand. Just getting ready for college. College football as well, training. Being an athlete and just working. So.
Exactly. You said your documentary. How did you come up? How did that come about? Putting together this documentary. How did you guys come up with that idea?
So at Edison Tech we have this media class, and every year we try to do like a senior project, or every year my teacher wants to do a senior project. So this year, we want to enter the film fest with a big project, and that project will be the Alzheimer's documentary. The way that came up, my teacher was in talks with a lady. I believe her name is Arlene Wilson. Miss Arlene Wilson. She is over at the Alzheimer's Association, and they started talking, and my teacher realized from the conversation they had, and what Miss Arlene Wilson was telling her, that Alzheimer's is more prevalent in the Black and Brown communities. So it's a big thing to get it out, so we know, because Alzheimer's is a disease that you cannot like cure. You can
Mm-hmm.
prevent and prolong it, but you cannot cure it once you get it. So the best way for us, in the Black and Brown community, and us, just as a community, we need to, prevent it and prolong it as much as possible. So yeah, and I'm heavily, around Alzheimer's every day. My grandfather has it, and so I'm one of his caretakers. So it's just like everything kind of worked together, and when it's like, yeah, let's do this
Wow.
documentary.
And when is this going to be out? When do you think this is going to be
I
released?
believe maybe June, July-ish. I say around that time, June, July.
Oh, excellent. We're going to have you back on the show to let us know the exact date and where and how people can see this documentary as well. It's very important. And can you tell us a little bit more about the studio that you have there at Edison?
Yeah.
You guys have a real nice man. It looked like you're going in News 10 or Channel 8 studios, really.
Yeah, so that's industry standard. Edison wants to prepare us for the best. It's the premier school in Monroe County. So but it's a studio. I believe my teacher says it's between 1.7 and $2 million. So it's a real studio. A lot of people come in, they're like, oh my gosh, if I interviewed a board member or something, they'll be like, oh my gosh, you have the same like a similar studio to Spectrum and News 10. So it's just something to get the kids hands on. We're a big career and technical education school, so being hands on is really important.
Exactly. And you guys do a regular news or a human interest type programs,
Yes,
correct?
sir. It's called Edison Tech News. Comes out every month, around the end of the month. Yep.
And do you guys get to work on the editing as well? Use the equipment to edit the
Yeah. So we use Premiere Pro. That's industry standard. We edit. We go out for regular shots. SOTs, which is sound on tapes. Voiceovers, VOs. Like just regular interviews. I could go to a game and put that together. So.
Wow, that's amazing. See, that's right here in the same school district, everybody. I hope the parents out here listening, they got a lot of quality things going on right here in Rochester, New York, right here at the Rochester City School District. So don't be listening about all that negative stuff you hear. There's a lot of positive things going on, and these young men right here are proof of how they're using the equipment, how professional they are. The studio sets are second to none. It's a very nice setup. Right, Marquand?
Yes, sir. Definitely. We the premier school in Monroe County, for a reason, and that's because of the resources and the different things that we can apply to kids and the things that we can give to kids. So definitely, most definitely, a great experience. I'll definitely, be having my kids go to Edison as well.
There you go. And DJ, what else? What kind of confidence does that give you with using quality high end equipment and things of this nature at the school?
I think at first it's really scary. It's really nervous. You got these couple hundred and a couple $1,000 cameras in your hand. Because not only is it a studio, but we got to record stuff outside the classroom. So it's like you're working with this high level equipment. It's like, oh my God, I don't want to break anything. But that's why you have an amazing teacher like Laura Barstow to help you out with that. Miss Barstow is a great teacher. So her training you and practicing and show you all the right techniques step by step, it really helps you out. So um, it gives you it kind of nurtures you. It's a nurturing type of class, so you could be great. And the confidence, it gives you a little bit of confidence once you know how to handle everything.
Excellent. Oh, that is great to hear about the confidence in working and using quality equipment in the studio. And also, Marquand, a question for you on how does that, with that type of studio and that type of marketing and using that, how does that help with some of the projects that you're working on, like the summer football clinic and things of that nature, and some of the other projects you're working on as well?
Right. So one thing that's always brought up is the promotion. So with us having the high quality cameras and the high quality students and studios, it's easy for anybody at Edison to promote something. And I want to give credit to DJ because every time it's something new or something need to be promoted, he's on it. And as well as our other standout students that also work in the studio. But yeah, definitely all promotion.
And that's the key. The key is promotion. And with the young people and with so much going on, are you guys both seniors?
Yes.
What are your career paths right now as we speak? What are you looking to do next year?
Go on. You go ahead.
Or in the fall? Marquand, you want to go first? Or whichever one you guys want to go first. What are you looking for in the fall for this year, actually, in the fall?
I take it. So I'm going to play, football at the next level while studying sports management. I want to get a degree in sports management and look into that field of football operations or director of something involved with the game of football. Later on, if it's my calling, I want to go back to college, get my administration license and my master's in administration, so I can one day and come back and be an athletic director here in the RCSD. And my whole goal of doing that is to give kids and the youth things that I have already and plus more. So things that I didn't have and things that I already have, kind of create ways, for them to have hope and for them to have multiple opportunities when they're getting ready to graduate.
Excellent. DJ?
So I do have plans of going to college for broadcast journalism. I think media is really big for me, like I said earlier. So I do want to go to school for broadcast journalism and minor in business. So I do want to create my own production business so I can, create a platform. Think about even having my own talk show or just something so I can have a platform. Always say this: I want to be the voice of the voiceless and change the narrative with my platform. So yeah, and I do plan to play college football at the next level as well, if that my time permits me. So yeah.
Oh, that's great. That's two of Rochester's finest young men here. And we have so many more of them at the high schools all across Rochester, New York. Wait, what's your advice to the young people coming up behind your freshmen coming into high school? What do you suggest for them to be successful in their 4 years in school?
I'll take that. I would say just don't stop, when time gets hard, just keep going, because it's every day is not the same. Sometimes you feel like you're getting beat, not beat up, but beat down and sad every day, or just like you're not really feeling some things sometimes. Just you gotta keep going. Like it's always gonna be something in your way and a roadblock, but you always gotta overcome that.
Absolutely.
I'll say always have faith in yourself and always have faith in God. And like DJ said, just keep going every day. Always be positive and be patient, and do all the right things that you need to do. And everything will always, fall in your lap the way you want it to. And I'm a big guy, and when it comes down to the saying, respect the process, and the process will respect you back, guaranteed. So doing all the right things, not rushing the process, and just doing everything you need to do, and everything will fall back into your line the way you want it to.
Absolutely. Very well stated. Gentlemen, so proud of both of you young men. Hey, you both keep up the good work. Anything in closing that you like to let the community know about, gentlemen?
Yeah, I got one. So I want to give a shout out to Matt and Chris. Yesterday I went to Skate Lovers. They showed me a great time. We also made a lot of connections, and one of the topics when we were conversating that got brought up was our youth taking a chance on themselves and reaching for the stars. And we wanted to make the awareness of if we got somebody trying and they fail, let's always have their back because they're trying their best, right? And I think the narrative is painted right now. If you're going long for something and you fail, there's always backlash and everything like that. But either way, why not just be positive about it? So I do want to give a shout out to them, and I want to change that narrative, especially for us, our Black youth.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And your names, once again, say your names before we go, gentlemen.
I am Dejon Jackson. I go by DJ Jackson.
My name Marquand Grimes.
Thank you both very much, man. So proud of you young men for coming on the show, and I look forward to talking with you again real soon. We'll be back definitely for the clinic for the summer, and also DJ for the documentary on the Alzheimer's documentary. I'm looking forward to both of those projects to talk about. So you guys continue to make the day your day. Thank you for coming on Real Deal Sports Show.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having us.
All right. And BacSpin, if we could play the interview from Kaznaz Linder from the World of Inquiry Sports basketball team that won the Class B regional championship last night at Gates Chili High School. Okay, let's tell us your name.
Kaznaz Linder.
What was the key tonight for your victory over Akron?
Stay disciplined. Don't be selfish. Keep attacking the basket. Don't settle for threes.
What do you feel is the key all season that's been for Word of Inquiry for your team?
To play hard. Don't give up. Keep pushing. That's really it.
Okay, and going into the next game, what's your goal going forward? Getting closer and closer to a possible state championship opportunity.
Right. So that's been our goal all season. So we just gonna keep working hard, pushing ourselves every day, because we know we can accomplish it. Now we just gotta secure it.
When you guys started in training camp and getting ready for the season, was that your goal? Do you guys feel that you guys can really go the distance this year?
Yeah, definitely. We was talking about that way before the season started.
Oh, great. And your coach, what's the main thing that the coach keeps preaching to you guys?
He tells all of us, keep attacking the basket, don't settle for threes, don't let up, stay humble, and play our game.
Absolutely. If you're watching the video, please leave a like and a comment if you're watching the video. That was Kaznaz Linder, starting guard for the Word of Inquiry basketball team. They played their hearts out last night, won that game last night. Coach Ward is doing a hell of a job with that unit, and they continue to improve. Good luck next week. They go to Binghamton for the Final Four next weekend. If they get through, they had 2 games to play up there, or at least 1, maybe 2. 2 will be the championship game. Good luck to Word of Inquiry, and good luck to all the teams playing later today. At noon, you want to see a real good game today at Rush Henrietta High School. You got the Academy of Health Sciences out of Buffalo, New York, playing Greece Athena. Greece Athena versus the Academy of Health Sciences. I've seen the Health Sciences team play. They're a hell of a squad out of the B-Low, out of Buffalo, New York. Watch them. They're going to be tough. Greece Athena, you got your hands full. We're rooting for you. Hopefully Greece Athena can win this one today. But that's at noon at Rush Henrietta High School, and then they still got 2 other games later in the day. I don't know why they flipped the script and have the really, which I call the marquee matchup, play first, but That's how they have it today. Is they should be playing last. That should be the last game on the schedule. But I'm not the Section 6 board, Section 5 board who set this up for the regional finals in that class. So if you're out available around noon, check that out today at noon. And I know we're getting low on time. I know BacSpin about to come on in. Get ready for his fine show coming up. And I want to get this closing in sports of all sorts. What happened with this young lady in Virginia? The track and field there, high school track and field, Everett, Leanna Everett. They're coming around the back there on the trail, and it looked like Kiana Tucker was about to pass her, and all of a sudden, the young lady appears to hit her in the head with the baton. And I was like, wow, just when you say you thought you never saw something in your lifetime, I never saw somebody either accidentally or blatantly get hit with a baton during a race, during an actual race. I mean, they wasn't even the first. They were like in second and third place, I believe, the way it looked on the race. But I never seen that happen. Hopefully they can get that all sorted out, and hopefully the young lady can, both young ladies can continue their track careers and get themselves. Because the one who did the hitting, who hit the young lady, has scholarships to go to college. A track and field. So I don't know. The guy last night at the game, when we were watching the game, said it reminded him of Tanya Harding and the other young lady in the figure skating competition. So I don't know. It brought back memories for a lot of people. We're talking about that last night. Right, BacSpin?
Yes, indeed, Radman. It definitely reminded me of the Tanya Harding. And what was the other girl name?
Oh, I'm trying to think of her name. Oh my
Tanya
God.
Harding and Katie. Something was it Katie?
Is that saying? But
I know, we know who the one was swinging the club.
Right, everybody knows the person who was swinging the club.
Nancy Kerrigan, that was her name. Nancy Kerrigan.
Thank you.
That was her name. Nancy Kerrigan. Tanya Harding and Nancy Kerrigan. Couldn't remember Nancy's name, but nothing. She was the victim.
Right, that's a shame, man. But that's how it goes in the world of news and sports, man. The news, you kind of, the aggressor seems to get more of the attention.
Yeah. I was just watching something. It's on HBO or it's on Max, and it's called Friday Night Light, Killing on Under the Friday Night Lights, and it's about football and murders that happened, the cheerleaders or the football players or the stuff like that. And they had a punter who was looking to go to, I think he played for Oregon, if I'm not mistaken. But he was looking to go to the pros. He was the best punter on the team, and another punter attacked him and stabbed him up, tried to kill him. Ended up, he didn't die, but his football career was over after that. So wow, that stuff is real, man. People get jealous, and they want your spot, and they willing to do anything to try to take it. So you got to stay prayed up out here, man.
You got to, because you got some people, like you said, just don't care, because that's sad. And that people want, like you said, they want that spot and want to take that spot, and if they can't keep it, they're trying to do whatever. So
right, I mean, they can't get it the right way, so they try to sabotage people's careers, or just hurt them one way or another, whether it's physically or through social media or something like that. So you got to be careful, man. You got to be careful.
Absolutely. Last but not least, Junior Bridgman. I dedicated the show to Junior Bridgman. Were you old enough to see him play at all?
No, sir. No, sir. I just read about his story and all he did after he got out of the game, and all the Wendy's that he owned and stuff like that. But no, I didn't know too much about him.
Outstanding ball player, because they should have beat UCLA in 1975. I was cheering so hard for them over at 168 Maple Street in the Fruit Belt over in Buffalo, New York. And we were like, we thought Louisville was going to beat John Wooden's team. That was his last team. But I tell you what, the guy, Bill Walton saved the day for UCLA, man. Hey, that guy, people don't realize what a great player Bill Walton was.
Bill Walton was a hell of a basketball player. He did things in UCLA. He did things in Boston. I think he went to Milwaukee too, didn't he? Didn't he get drafted by the Milwaukee Bucks, if I'm not mistaken?
No, Portland Trailblazers.
Yep, right. Good correction right there. Yeah, you're right. The Portland Trailblazers. But he did it. Bill Walton did his thing in college and in the NBA. So You know, rest in peace to Bill Walton, man.
And that was 8 in a row. They won that year. That was the last one John Wooden won as the head coach, and that was his 8th. And they happened to win 8 years in a row.
Wow.
I mean, UCLA, that's unbelievable. You won't see that. I don't think we'll ever see that type of string of a one college.
Absolutely not. 2-peat, 3-peat, yeah. 8, nah. Won't see that. We up against it though, Radman. We gonna check back in with the Real Deal Sports Show next week, my brother. Have a good one.
You have a great day. We'll catch you next week. Remember, be a good sport, everybody.
Yes, indeed. That's the Real Deal Sports Show every Saturday morning, 8 a.m. right here on the B1055. Keep it where you need it. The Back in Time Mix Show is on the way right here on the Beat.